ready when you are, once you get your chair back. A bit.
So has it always been cats? Actually?
No,
Just
not
more.
always cats, no. I used to volunteer when I was very young at a dog and cat shelter, and I did an awful lot of work with dogs, and I used to do dogs right up until I was in my late 30s when I didn't have any facilities, but I've always done dogs as well.
Yeah. So what made you do cats for Willows? Choose them.
Well, I've always loved everything really, wildlife I've
Yeah.
done, and as I've got older it was simply because I didn't have accommodation for dogs that I had to
Yeah.
stop doing dogs. There was no way to keep them. I moved house, and cats were, I had to specialise in cats.
Do you think that you're sort of being quite in tune with cats and understanding behaviours? Do you think cats come naturally to you, or do you think you've learned it with your experience?
Both.
Yeah.
It does come very naturally. I always observe, and I think, you know, if people kind of take a little more time to observe their animals, they can tell.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when your child is not well,
Yeah.
and you should also know when your pets are not well.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been learning a vast amount over 50 years, and working in the field of veterinary as well has also helped that very, very much.
So you talk about 50 years. What was your very first sort of rescuing?
Well, to say the very first, it was difficult because I used to work in a shelter,
Right,
so there was
okay,
I used to
yeah.
take a lot of the animals home from there.
Oh, okay.
And give them individual attention because it was a very large shelter
Yeah.
where there was a great deal of animals at one time, so having personal attention was just not an option.
Yeah.
This is why I've always remained small and personal, because the bigger you get, the more difficult it becomes
Yeah.
to keep, you know, an eye on everyone and to make sure everyone has their needs met, both physically and emotionally.
Mhm. Are cats your favourite animal?
I would say both cats and dogs are certainly my favourite animal, but I love all animals and creatures.
Have you had any cats and dogs yourself? Not just sort of looking after like
Oh yes,
fostering, but
permanently.
have you?
Permanently
Yeah.
had dogs up until I was in my 30s, all the time, and I rescued dogs till then. I now don't have dogs just simply for a practical reason.
Yeah.
But yes, I've always had at least 2 or 3 cats of my own, always.
What's been the hardest sort of most challenging rescue sort of maybe story that you've had when they've come in and what they've gone
There are
through?
so many of them,
Yeah.
to pick out one would be
Well,
very, very
yeah.
difficult. I've had varying ones that have been pretty horrific and heartbreaking that haven't had a good result at the end,
Okay.
and some that have been heartbreaking that have had a good result.
Yeah.
A lot of the ones that are very memorable are those that are neglected over a very long period of time and live in a very unhappy and distressing situation for a long period of time. Some cats that are long haired, that have massive neglect, whose, you know, coats need completely shaving off. You remember those because you have so much to do with them.
Yeah.
So they are very, very memorable indeed.
That's brilliant. What's your favourite cat breed?
I don't really have a breed of cat, but
No.
I think a better question was what's my most unfavourite cat breed? That
Okay.
would be a much better question
Yeah.
to ask me, because I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah.
I absolutely are heartbroken about Persian cats
Okay.
and the difficulties that they have, same as the bulldog breeds and all the flat-faced breeds.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking when they get older and they can't breathe properly. They have much more health problems than a normal cat. So, I mean, I love a moggy. I love a cat that is an ordinary cat.
Yeah.
And the breeds have their charm. All of the different breeds have different charm. But the ones that I absolutely feel so heartily sorry for are Persians and flat-faced breeds that people continue to breed because they think they look cute.
Yeah.
And I'm appalled.
What is it that makes the sort of the breathing difficulty and things?
Because
What?
they have deformed faces.
Yeah.
Their faces aren't normal. They've bred them with the shortest, flattest faces, and that
Okay,
makes their breathing extremely difficult. Whereas they may get away with it when they're very young for a little while, but when they become aged, they have great difficulty in breathing and will have lots and lots of problems to do with that.
It's really sad that
Very
people
sad.
sort of prioritise how cute they are.
Looks over everything else.
Yeah, and I think,
Which it should have nothing really to do, but
No.
unfortunately it does.
and I think especially with Emmy, who I got from here, she's quite unique looking, isn't she? And
And there are so many beautiful moggy cats,
yeah.
yeah. And if you like a long hair, there are many, many long hairs, you see them all the time.
Yeah.
We have lots of very stunningly beautiful cats. Colours wise, you know, people have to wait on a waiting list for the particular colours. Many people love a red cat, a ginger cat.
Yeah.
People love a blue cat,
Mhm.
or you know, even a black one, a short hair, long hair. People have preferences,
Yeah.
which that's
Yeah.
fine, and I understand that. But there's always usually a cat in a rescue centre. Why go and get one from a breeder when there are thousands in rescue centres that were just as loving and just as needy, and it's so much nicer to adopt.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I had another question that's gone out of my head. Oh, what would be your top 5 tips on looking after a cat?
Well,
And I say 5 to do with the 50 years that
Yes.
you've been rescuing.
right. Well, the most important thing I would say of all
Mhm.
is to ensure that your cat is neutered or spayed. That's
Yeah.
my absolute top priority, because there are thousands, and one more litter is a disaster
Yeah.
in the eyes of the rescues. It doesn't matter, there's no excuse for not having a pet neutered. It should stay indoors until it's ready to be neutered, and it can be neutered at 5 months or 16 weeks now.
Right.
The vets will do them very early for this reason, because there are thousands of neutered animals. So neutering is the first thing.
Mhm.
General health is another thing. You must also make sure in with that encapsulated is worming and flea. It's really important that you use proper veterinary products and not substandard ones that you can buy just over the counter.
Yeah.
And advice is free from us. If you want to, you can always call for advice. We will tell you exactly where you can get them at a really good price, but it must be veterinary strength.
Yeah.
The second thing probably is to be a good friend and a good owner to your cat by being aware of what frightens your cat, what makes your cat happy, and watching it and making sure that it isn't stressed.
Yeah.
So consider your cat in everything you do, and make sure that if there's something that is stressing it, get advice to how that can be helped.
Yeah.
There are so many different issues there, and that is to do with the change in your circumstances. When you adopt a cat, you may be a certain age, and then that cat can live 15 years, and over those 15 years there will be a number of changes in your life, and those changes may involve other pets or even children, and you have to consider your animal's welfare and get advice if you need to.
Yeah.
I think the third thing is to, my big one is overpopulating your household with pets.
Okay.
Many people start with 1 or 2, then they add, and then they add, and then they add, and then before they know where they are, they either A, can't afford it if anything goes wrong, or they find that they have problems with behavioural issues,
Yeah.
which almost always happens when you keep on adding pets to the home.
Mhm.
They don't want to live as one of 10 or one of 5. They much prefer to be either individuals and have a friend or 2, but once you start climbing with the numbers, you cause them great stress and lots of problems, and those problems can be soiling or staying away from the home. For instance, many people buy designer dog or puppy, and their cat is absolutely terrified and won't even enter the house, even in the winter when the snow's on the ground, but the person thinks is perfectly acceptable because they really want this puppy more than anything else. Number 4, I think, to be feeding good food. It shouldn't have to be a luxury. If you can afford to feed one cat on really good diet, give it really good food, we use a good dried foods, and we also do good wet foods and fresh foods. We use a lot of tuna fish and fresh chicken. We use Purina 1, we use James Well we loved in the dry section. And there are many, many other lovely foods on the market. The sachets, as good as it looks and feels, are designed to keep your cat healthy. There's lots of cheap foods around. It's far better to have one cat and feed it well than to have 3, 4 cats and really have to just feed them on cheap food because you can't afford to.
Yeah.
And I think probably the last thing is for when people get older, and when I say, in their vintage years,
Yeah.
there are 2 sides to the coin. One is between the ages of 60 and 75, many people either experience huge health issues. and sometimes mental health issues as well to do with dementia, etc. It's very, very important that the person is aware if they have a pet as they get on in their years, advancing years, to recognise that if something goes wrong, they need to put something into place. And that is either to register with someone like ourselves who can guarantee to take, and we guarantee all of our animals to take them back and appropriately rehome if that's what the person really thinks is the best thing.
Yeah.
Or if the person has a very elderly cat that has health issues, it may be kinder to have that cat put to sleep.
Yeah.
But at least the cat is not out on its own with relatives who don't really care about it. Many of the animals we take in have had an elderly person who relatives have come and cleaned the house out, throw the cat in the garden and gone, and the keys back to the council. And it is so heartbreaking when that happens.
Yeah.
So I think those are probably my top five, yes, of issues, if you like,
Yeah.
that happen all the time, that we have to deal with on a more or less weekly basis.
So to tie everything in with the mental health theme, what has been the greatest benefit for you in your mental health from having cats?
I don't think
Or
there's
just animals.
anything in the world more wonderful than the relationship between yourself and your pet, because it probably in your entire life, and that is including, apart from perhaps your mother and father, is the closest and most loving and trustworthy relationship you will ever have.
Yeah.
And if that isn't precious, then I don't know what is.
Oh, that's getting me all emotional. They're very special, and I think that when you have a pet and cat or whatever animal it is, I feel like not that your life should revolve around them, but they should be the most important.
They should
Sort of.
always, you're right,
Yeah.
and really they're so easy and they ask for very little, so providing you know what their general needs are,
Yeah.
you don't have to have your life revolving around them, but what you do have to do is consider them on a daily basis for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Every day for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime, a long time,
Yeah.
15, 16, 17 years. And I just wish those people who can't commit to that would not even begin to think about having one.
Yeah. What else am I talking about? Oh, so we were talking about animals' mental health, and I was telling you about my old cat that had sort of anxiety and aggression. What sort of troubling kind of behaviours have you seen here? What's been the hardest to
I think
sort of
we've
bring
seen
forward?
everything over the
Yeah.
years. Some animals come in here on day one. They're usually very frightened on day one. They've been plunged into a situation of total unknown. Nothing is familiar around them. They don't recognise anyone. They don't recognise anything.
Yeah.
It's very, very frightening. We do certain things to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We provide them with a safe den, a bed or cosy space
Yes.
where they can feel they can hide. We provide quietness and peace. They've got nice soft blankets that don't smell of anyone else. Within 3 to 5 days, the transformation is unbelievable. Once they start feeling okay about it all, a few nights, then they start allowing themselves to be themselves.
Yeah.
But some animals come in and they have mental health issues, they do. And when we recognise this, we try and get them into foster as fast as we can.
Yeah.
As soon as they go into foster, the foster parent, well, many of our foster parents are very experienced, they will have their own space, and the foster parent will be able to assess them in a quiet environment, which is what they require.
Yeah.
And we will find out exactly what the problem is, and we will set out to find another quiet environment where the cat can relax and stay safe, and especially cats who belong to older people.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sad things that happens is that families sometimes buy a kitten for their elderly relative.
Right.
Once they've put that kitten in that environment with the elderly relative, who hardly has any visitors, who lives alone, that kitten has no experience of normal life.
Yeah.
And so even when it's a year or two old, it's got to have the same environment, because it would be totally freaked out if you try to give it to a family, even with older children, even anybody else freaks it out because it's so you've signed its fate by putting a very young kitten in with an older person and the older person's life, which is very quiet and very, you know, non-visitors kind of thing. A cat needs to have socialisation from a very, very young age as a baby. Then all its life, it will live quite a happy and comfortable life. If it doesn't get that, then there are big problems ahead.
Yeah. What has been the one lesson that you've learned over 50 years? What would you say was the...
I think there's too many to even go there, but one thing is, I think I wish people would have more patience,
Right.
more thoughtfulness and more kindness, and think before they act. And I think that's the most important thing of all, is to seriously think. And if somebody would like to help and they don't really want to tie themselves into 16 years, then become a foster parent and help one out temporarily. And then you can still enjoy helping someone without the commitment of a very long time.
Okay. How long has Willows been here for now?
Willows has been here 9 years now here, in this centre. But before that we worked from home.
Okay. And how many volunteers do you have?
We have between probably about 20 to 30 at any one time, because we have foster parents and we have volunteers who come to the centre every day. So we have ladies and gentlemen who do 2 hours once a week, and they have that slot which they fiercely defend. They love coming. So we've got a full cover at all times for the centre, and of course, you know, we like to think that it's very well run because we need to know all about the animals on a daily basis. So every morning we need to know if everyone's eating their breakfast, if anyone's not very well, if everyone's toilet is all right, how their demeanour is.
Would you like to just quickly explain the sort of procedure that you have for, because you match people with the cats, don't you?
What we try and do is get as much information from the person who wishes to adopt as possible, and some people might find that, you know, maybe we're being cheeky to ask so many questions, but what we're trying to do is make sure that they get that right cat, and that more importantly for us, that cat gets the right person. So we need to know really if the person's age group, if the person wants to have an indoor cat, or whether it can have a safe space outside to play, whether they have any children or they're of childbearing years, whether they are a mature person and have a lot of visitors or have a quiet household, whether they've had a cat before and what their expectations are, whether they particularly, absolutely, definitely want an all black one, or whether they wouldn't mind a tabby one, or whether they are very open. So by doing all of these things, we like to think we get cats to people that they are perfectly matched to, and by looking up on the Facebook, well, you'll see how delighted everybody seems to be when they get their pet, because we've carefully put a lot of effort into trying to get not just what they want, but what the animal's needs are too.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant that you do that, and rather than just have someone come in and say, I'd like a kitten, or I'd like two
You have one of those.
together, and it's
There
like, right, well, here's them, look at
It's not a
what
sausage
you want.
factory.
No,
You
it's
don't, they're
brilliant.
very individual to us. Every single one that comes here is important.
And it gives them a better chance of having a better life, doesn't it? To
And a
be
better
more
chance of
matched.
staying in that home for the 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 years it's going to live. And yes, circumstances do change, and we understand that, and you can never be 100% about anything. No one can. But the good thing is, if the wheel does come off, we'll try and be there to make sure that if things go wrong, we can catch them and get them in the right place if they do have to be rehomed.
Well, you've matched me and Emmy very well.
Good.
She's my little world. Her and my bunny though. But she really gets on with the bunny. She
Most of them
loves
do.
it,
Most of them do. A lot of people say, oh, do the cats not go for the rabbits? Because I had 2 rabbits for many years, loose, just playing around. And I've never had ever, even the rescue cats who haven't known the rabbits, have been perfectly fine with them.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say say or tell anybody?
Thank you for coming.
Of course, I'm very
And,
happy to
just
be
please-
here.
Yeah, please share our information, and
Yes.
you know, and we're here to help and to advise if you need it, and call us anytime if that's needed.
Brilliant, thank you, Marie. So could you quickly tell me about this golden ticket that you've got going?
Yes, I can. Well, as it's our 50th year now, we're doing a very special thing this year, which we've never done before, and we're asking people who can raise £50
Yep.
between now and September. Their name will be drawn, put into a raffle,
Yep.
and that golden ticket that is picked out, they will receive a private party for themselves and their friends in the shelter
Yeah.
for an afternoon with everything provided.
Oh wow.
So it's quite a special thing to win.
Yes.
So anyone who wants to fundraise for us and do the £50
Yeah.
challenge, then they will be put in the draw.
So would you like to tell me about the 50 Shades of Animal Rescue with you to celebrate 50 years of rescuing animals, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And they're going to try and get loads of stories out of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is very hard to get some of the stories, but sometimes just there's a few that I have relayed. Everyone seems to find them very interesting. So obviously I've done some very happy, funny things, some very, very sad things, and there's an awful lot has happened in these 50 years. So some of those stories are recorded and going to be recorded for people to read and hopefully enjoy.
Is this you on the back?
It is
Yeah.
me on the back, yes, a
Oh,
very
that's
long time
brilliant.
ago.
I'll leave some pictures down below of the leaflet and
Lovely.
then people can see
Thank you.
this picture that I'm on about. I love it. Who put this together?
Lisa did.
I would. Oh wow.
You're just out of
Good
Maria's,
eggs, aren't you?
out of Maria's head.
See, I
Trying to
have only
stretch
relayed
them
a few, but there's a lot in there which I have to sometimes, just when I don't often have a lot of time to have quiet moments these days, but when I do, sometimes I can relay a few things that have happened. I mean, the ones that are in there now are stories from when I was very young, when I first started. There's a million more.
How old were you when you started?
I was 17.
And what was your first?
I volunteered at the local
Yeah.
animal shelter, and I was there for a few
Yeah.
years before I started